I don't think I don't think that I need conversations or discussions to make my point known, to make my statement heard. I don't think that I need to air my grievances around people. I don't think that I need to raise my issues around people. I don't think that I need to go certain places and shake certain things up. Oh, this has been playing on my mind. This bothers me. This pisses me off. When when I came out of doing something that was so detrimental for my soul and I couldn't anymore, and I also did something going forward and I couldn't do that anymore, I had to take a step back and really evaluate the circumstances, because my very sanity, my very soul was being attacked. I was crushed, right? I wouldn't say I was heartbroken, but I was offended. I was offended to, I don't know, learn that I couldn't train there anymore. I couldn't be educated there anymore. I couldn't be on the highest level possible anymore. And a lot of it was due to those guys, and a lot of it was due to the girls. Just just different experiences I had. Like I never wanted to be a player. I never wanted to be a guy that smoked weed or, smoked weed. I never wanted to be the guy that, you know, wasn't, drank alcohol or, or had a drug addiction. I never wanted to be any of those guys, which I'm not. But, I think that for a very long time I suffered with what ifs and, maybes and, it'll happen. And what what coming across these specific people has taught me is, time is too valuable to waste. And like I quoted, I want to create a comfort zone for my other half. If I ever find the other half, which is very unlikely because there is no one out here other than Becky, there is no one out here that I think is you know on that level as me. But it's not about asking you or telling you. It's more along the lines of showing you, right? And I think people don't understand this. And I think it's due to the fact that everyone around me are just so used to making other people, happy, impressing other people, inviting other people, giving them money, showing them this, showing them that. And I think that from a very young age, the early developments of my, I would say, because I was trying to build my career, is probably why I didn't work as many jobs as I needed to. It's probably why I didn't make enough money at the time. It's probably why when I did work experiences, sorry, because I did it twice, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with the direction where I was going. I wasn't happy with being removed from Firewalker. I wasn't happy with Juniper and only knowing Josh McCarthy. And I think, yes, there were other guys, but Josh McCarthy was up there for sure because, I went out that night in 2019 before I came across that video of the girl that I'm in love with right now. Before all that, right? I was there that night, and I texted him, I rang him, I was like, "Yo, bro, where you at?" I'm at the pub now, and I was chilling, waiting for him, right? And it was still kind of during the day. I hadn't received the missed calls yet, right? But I think that's really funny, and I think what's really funny is now I can go for walks at night. Now I can go wherever I want to go. I could go for a lonely drive, and I'm just like, I can't. I just can't, bro. Like, I did something. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I just tried to be the kind of guy that I just try to be the guy that would just move forward. And no matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I really tried to push myself to say it'll get better, it never did. And I think that's what I hold on to as why I want to make a lot of money, why I should have all these years, why my family members should have just pushed me aside, because that's what they did. Yes, they can offer you a palace, they can create you a house, but unless the values and the principles are required, I'm not saying that they don't. I'm saying food's cool. Food, and materialistic things and hoarding things. That's it. Like, I live in that. I don't live in let's build this, let's work on this. They just kind of, because they're exposed to mediocrity, they are mediocrity. They're mid at best. They're just a low tier people. And I'm not trying to say like without them I wouldn't be where I am today. No, they pushed me to do these facilities. They kicked me out of the house. I couldn't come back in the house.
Yeah.
And that was my background. When I had nowhere else to go, I had no one to lean on. I had no one to talk to. I just don't know what, like, where to go from here, like where to go from there. So when I went through all of those circumstances where I went to school and I wasn't making friends, and I went to college and I wasn't making any, like I was doing work, I was doing some assignments, I was doing this, I was doing that, but it wasn't enough. It was never enough. And then fire Walker, it wasn't enough either. So I think where I'm concerned, people will say, what have you done? What have you done in the last 10 years? These influencers will call out me, that they'll call out my shit. These rappers will, these artists will, these several men in several countries will, everybody can. But at the end of the day, what they got to understand is, why I've quoted myself as being the greatest of all time is because in my heart of hearts, I always felt like I was. I always felt like when I was born, when I came into this earth, I had something that no one else had, and that was, you know, I wanted to be with you, and I wanted to be around you, and I wanted to say this, and I never could. I just respect you, and you know what I mean. And it's like it's like now a lot has changed, and I've done more in a couple of days, since last month than I ever did in the last 10 years. And it's funny because in the last couple of years, well, no, I had the oddball kick off. I kicked off, but I never went that far. You just want to go back to those days. I do. I want to go back to those days when I watched Smallville for the very first time in 2017. I wanted to be Clark Kent. I saw him and I just wanted to be him. I wanted to represent, you know what I mean? I wanted his confidence. I wanted his assertiveness. I just wanted to be him. I know Tom Welling is Clark Kent, and that's who I'm talking about. And, he doesn't play him anymore, right? But he's still got Clark Kent in him, right? But I really did. I really did want to be Clark Kent. And I never got the opportunity to be Clark Kent because when I started to really, shake off all the negative crap that held me back all these years, and I started to say, I don't care if I was hitting the pads hard in 2013 or 2014 or 2015, or anything like that. Like I might have done, right? But 2017 was the way forward. I came off Lucozade, the tonic drink, and I started to drink water, right? And I wanted to transition into water. I always wanted to. I always wanted to go out there and meet healthy people and socialize with people and just tell them, and just talk behind their back and remind myself, that they're valuable to me, that I care about them, that I respect them. And, like guns, like YX, like my bro Tyrese and Josh McCarthy, just because I don't see you anymore, just because I don't spend time with you anymore, just because just because you think that, I took myself out of the circumstances and I went off in my own direction, don't ever think that I stopped respecting you. If we were cool, we're cool. And that's just life. I don't think me and guys out here will ever, if they go too far and they like, have a real reason to hate on me. But then that being said, I don't think there's a reason why, because no guy's gonna pull up on me and be like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Nobody's gonna say I can't do that, or I can't do this, right? I could do I could do more than you can imagine, and I'm a very imaginative person. Once I start going and I start using my imagination and I'm very creative, and people around me saw that and used that against me, nobody really liked the idea of me being an artist. Nobody really liked the idea of me being a rapper. Nobody really liked the idea of me going around people, or, speaking positively about people, or, watching people. And it's probably why I've kind of gone long enough, because, I follow on Instagram a mental health a mental health advocate page, where they post certain things that I've gone through. And I like to think that, following certain people, gives me a bit of relief. And that's why I try to save certain videos to my saved, so I can watch it later. I can watch them, and I can be like, this is what I've always wanted to do. But other times I don't find the time. I'm on a journey. I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to build my portfolio. I need to stop. I need to stop stuttering, and I need to stop doubting myself, and I need to stop living in the past, and I need to start thinking about my future, because one day my future is going to come and everyone around me is no longer going to be here. The girls aren't going to be here. The guys aren't going to be here. Basically, nobody's going to come and say, we're here to help you. Me, I have to help myself. I have to. Even if they really want to, even if they give me a handout, I have to say no.